Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my new makeup releases for August. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Welcome to Eyeshadow Palette Month. I am currently talking about nothing but eyeshadow palettes over on this channel. However, I also wanted to film some of the videos I do every month anyways. And once a month, I go over the new makeup releases that have been announced, and I'm gonna give you my commentary on them. I tend to be very selective with what I talk about, so I have only 24 things to talk about today. So let's get to it. Before we get into the video, I would like to tell you a little bit more about this channel, just in case you're new here. My name is Maaike. I've been a content creator for more than a decade. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and I love talking about eyeshadow palettes, but I also really enjoy going back to old favorites and trying lots of drugstore makeup as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. So like I mentioned, there are only 24 releases that I wanted to talk about in this video today. That does mean that we're missing a little bit of input because I am pre-filming this video as I will be traveling really soon, and I just wanted to make sure I had plenty of content lying about and uploaded and ready to go for you guys as I'm on my trip. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be covering all of the exciting news as I'm filming this like over a week in advance, which usually I always already film my new makeup releases a week in advance because I kind of have to with my job. So whatever I'm missing, I will be just including that for the new makeup releases that will go up in September. So first Sunday of the month is new makeup releases video time over on the channel, so I hope you're here for it. First things first, we have this new lip product from Fenty Beauty. It's like a glossy sort of lip balm hybrid kind of thing, and I've heard a lot of people raving about these already. However, I do feel that Fenty Beauty is a little bit late to the party here. We have a lot of these kind of products already. I love my Glossier Ultra Lip in the shade Pony. If you don't know anything about that, then check some of my older videos because I have been raving about that lip color. And that is essentially what this product gives me as well. So it's giving lip balm lipstick hybrid with a very glossy finish, and I just feel that other brands have been doing this already and that Fenty Beauty isn't necessarily doing anything new that is really adding much to the makeup game, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. Apparently the formula is really nice. On my travels, I will be in countries where they have Sephora, where Fenty Beauty is sold. However, here in the EU where I'm located, we definitely tend to be a little bit behind on Fenty Beauty new releases being available in store. I feel that's the case with a lot of brands. Like, it always seems to be released in the US first, or sometimes Asia, before we end up getting it. So it could be a while for me until I can actually see this in real life. But I will be traveling to some other locations that have Sephora's later in the year. So when I see this in store, I will definitely give it a swatch. But at the minute, I don't think I need to get my hands on this per se. There is a new liquid blush from Lunar Beauty, which, again, very late to the game, I feel. The theme of 2024 seems to be liquid and cream blush. Every brand under the sun is all of a sudden coming out with nothing but blush. Eyeshadow palettes are dead, but we're getting a lot of blush instead. It's like liquid blush is the highlighter of 2016. Like, remember when we got all the really intense, super out there highlighters? I really feel like liquid and cream blush is that for 2024. So I don't need this. I have plenty of liquid and cream blushes in my collection that I already love. Lunar Beauty is a really pretty brand. In fact, I am wearing some Lunar Beauty eyeshadow on my lids today. So I have tried a couple of things from the brand, but I remember, I think I had one of their glosses at some point, and it smelled so strongly of vanilla cake batter. And I just don't like really heavily scented makeup either. So I'm not sure whether these are going to be scented or not. There are 6 shades. The six shades we are getting are not that exciting. That's another thing that I've been seeing with a lot of these blush releases we're having, is that the shade selection just isn't all that interesting. So this is one I will definitely be passing up on. Then we have the Glamlight Good Guys collection. So this is Chucky but positive, it seems. And it just has some really bright, fun, colorful things in here. I'm not sure, does it even come with the doll? But ooh, if I look at the swatches, then the palette seems to be quite grungy. I do feel like Glamlight is sort of repeating itself with a lot of the products that they're releasing. And this just seems to come with a lot of swag and not that much makeup. I mean, there is an eyeshadow palette, a lip kit, a lip care duo, a highlighter. Then there's a mirror, a bag, and another glam bag or whatever. So I'm like, I don't really need all the swag. Those are always things I pass up on to begin with. I know a lot of people like that makeup brands do it, but I just feel it's not really adding much to it. Just give me more makeup. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, if I look at the swatches of this, it looks very similar to me, to the Friday the 13th palette they did previously, and I already own that. So this is not going to add anything to my makeup collection per se, but this looks pretty. It's very on brand for Glamlight, I think. It definitely is. Then for this, I just have a video, so I'm going to be inserting it here, and it's the new MAC collection where they have brought back all of these old lipstick shades that people have been requesting from them for years. Apparently a lot of these have already sold out. Apparently Flash Pot was so popular that it sold out in minutes. So we got Flash Pot, Shanghai Spice, Hot Gossip, Double Shot, Up the Amp, Shints, Haku, and Bubbles. And I think I used to own Up the Amp. That like purpley sort of cream. I think I used to own that in my MAC collection. I got rid of it over time because I wasn't wearing it enough. The other ones all seem to be quite nude, I feel. And they're all like very peach or pink. There is one like frosty greenish silver apparently. So I love that they do this. I love that they're bringing back these original shades that they are very known for and that are very popular amongst makeup lovers. I think that's definitely something that MAC can, like if they keep doing this with other products, I wouldn't be mad at them, because MAC has of course been around for decades, so they have a huge backlog of a lot of their products. And yeah, even though the shades that were selected for this comeback weren't necessarily my cup of tea, I think it makes sense for MAC to do these kind of things from time to time. And then we got this beautiful looking palette from Beauty Bay. This is the Botanical palette. And this is very much a color story after my heart. This is giving ABH Nouveau. It's giving unearthly fall magic. It's just, in preparation for the fall time, I think this is beautiful. But for summer, I think it's a little bit too moody. However, as I always say in my videos, you just wear what you like. I don't really think things need to go with the seasons. However, I would reach for this kind of color story more so in the fall time, I think. There are a couple of pretty greens here, some like plummy things. There are some orange tones, but I definitely feel that in the pictures I have here, it looks quite neutral, and it seems to have some good neutral browns in here, which I really appreciate. The Beauty Bay formula is just not one that is my absolute favorite formula. So I've tried a couple of these, like, what is it, 20 pans? 20 pan palettes in the past. The Book of Magic, the Age of Opulence, the Wild Things or Wilderness palette. Those I've all tried in the past. And while pretty, like the color stories are amazingly beautiful, me and the Beauty Bay formula, we just don't really go together. There's just something about the Beauty Bay formula that's not quite right for me. And I keep trying them because I want to love them so badly. But yeah, I have already repurchased some, or repurchased, it's not repurchased. I have already purchased some new to me Beauty Bay palettes that I feel very excited for, to see how well they work. But so far, I've tried 4 Beauty Bay palettes in the past already, and they have never become my favorites. So I'm predicting that this may go the same route. I first want to try the smoky palettes that I have shown you in a recent haul, and that's just what I'm going to stick to for now. This is not necessarily going to be anything new to my collection anyway. I have a vast collection of makeup already, and especially in the eyeshadow palette department, it's very difficult to do something that I haven't tried yet or that I don't currently have in my makeup collection. And this just doesn't look like anything that's really going to add anything to my makeup collection. There is a new shade. Is it just new shades or is it also new products? Anyways, it's from Makeup by Mario, and he has some new shades of the plumping blush veils, and there are some new shades in the plumping lip serum. And this looks pretty, especially the fact that there are now some brighter shades in these like cream blushes. I was actually eyeing up these cream blushes the last time I was at a Makeup by Mario counter, but the shade I wanted to get was out of stock. I do feel though that again with blush, brands are just not that adventurous at the minute. It's just all pinks and peaches and renditions of it. And I just feel they could just do better, I feel. So while the shade range extension makes sense for Makeup by Mario, it's not something that I like really makes my heart go like, ooh, I now need to try these products. It's not like that. Some more products from Fenty Beauty, because they now also do lip liners. So together with those like balmy things, they now also do lip liners, which I wasn't aware that Fenty Beauty didn't have lip liners yet, but it makes sense. Like if they're releasing more lip products, that they would also have lip liners. There seem to be some really pretty cooler tone shades in the range if I look at the swatches. Again, like I already mentioned about these like balmy stick things, if I do end up seeing these in store, I will definitely give them a swatch and have a look at them, but I don't think I need to run out and get these because those balms are $25 and the lip liners are $20. And I actually, if I'm going to get liners, I already know that this summer I'm gonna have to make my way to a MAC counter anyways, and I wanted to see if I could find some more MAC liners I would like to try, because those are easy to sharpen. And I do like a lip liner now. I never used to love lip liner all that much, but I think MAC just really has the most extensive shade range when it comes to lip liner, so I definitely am interested in getting some more lip liners for sure, but not necessarily by Fenty. This is the fall collection from Chanel. I think last time I showed you the fall collection from Dior, but Chanel has also already announced at least 2 eyeshadow palettes. But these pictures look very doctor to me. Like, it doesn't look like real eyeshadow. It looks like toy makeup, but there is this like pastel purpley thing and this like warmish pink tone. Pretty. Does it make sense for fall? Maybe. I mean, we don't need to go for the warm tones and the pumpkin shades in the fall time, I think. So Chanel is definitely trying to change it up, which I appreciate. But I have tried Chanel eyeshadow in the past, and I ended up decluttering all of those in the past couple of years. So I haven't really been interested in any of the eyeshadow that Chanel has released in recent years. So I don't think this is going to be a purchase for me. A brand that, again, just keeps releasing new things. Makeup by Mitchell. Again, a new release from Makeup by Mitchell. And this is the Mattitude lipstick collection. And these are all nudes in like different peachy, creamy, beigey, whatever shades. And if I look at the swatches, there seems to be like one thing that pulls a little bit more cool toned. And everything is giving concealer lips to me. And I'm just not a fan of concealer lips. I mean, I did that trend when it was trending back in like, what was it, 2010? I had a MAC, I don't remember what the product was called, but it was a product from MAC. It looked a bit like a paint pot from the outside, but it was this little flat plastic container, and it was essentially concealer for your lips. I used to wear that without a lip liner, so I've had that phase in my life. I don't need to go there again. I know it's really back, like a darker lip liner with a very sort of 90s nude in the middle. That's what everybody seems to be going for. And this definitely taps into that into that trend. So is it very on trend and really good for the brand in that way? Yes. But I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed with how much Makeup by Mitchell has been releasing in the past couple of months. I think I have featured a Makeup by Mitchell palette or product, I should say, not palettes. I'm thinking of the curved cases in my brain, so that's why I was saying palettes. But I have been having some of his products in every single new makeup releases of the year so far, I think. I think the thing most people want to hear my thoughts on is this next thing from Natasha Denona. This is the Mini Rose palette. And as lovely as this looks, I'm like, it's giving Mini love, which I already own. So do I need this in my life? I don't think so. I really, really hope that Natasha Denona is not going to fall into the same trap as Pat McGrath, where everything she releases is going to be these pink tones, because this is like the so many pink tone thing we're getting from Natasha Denona, especially in the mini palettes. I mean, Mini Love, Retro Glam Mini, the Mini Zendo, I think, can like have a similar vibe here. So again, I'm not sure whether this is going to be right for me. I would want to see this in store and swatch it, especially because a lot of the Natasha Denona product imaging you can find online makes things look cooler toned than they actually are. So that's why I'm a bit nervous for this. In the swatch, it seems to have a really pretty mauve tone, but then there's something there that's also really, really warm toned. So not sure I'd love this. Could very well be that when I see this in store, I get sucked in and I end up buying it. So I'm definitely interested in it, but it's not one where I feel I need to get this straight away. Like right now, at this minute, I need to drop everything and make sure I order this. Again, with like Fenty Beauty and House Labs and Makeup by Mario, all the brands we can get at Sephora are usually a little bit later for products to come our way anyways. So I know if I wanted to get it straight away, I would have to order it from the Natasha Denona website, which is located in the US. So I would have to pay a lot of extra fees for this. So for now, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need this in my life per se. You will see later this month, I have plenty of rosy tone palettes in my collection. So do I need to add this? I don't think so per se, but I'm definitely interested. It's a Natasha Denona, one of my favorite brands for eyeshadow, and the color story does look very appealing, but I want to see it in real life before I make up my mind. So here's a collection that looks quite pretty packaging wise, but it's also a bit confusing. This is by Hermes. So you know this is going to be pricey. It doesn't say here how much this is going to be, but it has lipstick, nail polish, and an eyeshadow palette. And especially the eyeshadow palette, I'm like, 2 round pans, 2 square pans, there you go. The colors are very fall. I definitely think that can be nice. The lipsticks are very orange though, so that's not really my cup of tea. But yeah, I've never tried Hermes makeup. I'm not intending to try Hermes makeup anytime soon. A little bit harder to get for me anyways, plus it is very, very expensive. So no for now. Then there is a new collection from Ensley Rain. They now do 2 palettes that are a little bit smaller, and therefore they are also a little bit less expensive, which is good. These retail for around the $50 mark, and I have already been informed that this is going to come to Monolith. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the release that's going to happen today as you're watching this video. Today at 11 a.m. Monolith will have a new restock up on their website, so these could be included there. So I'm pretty sure that this could already be available through Monolith. Since I haven't really clocked these as things I would like to get, the Flutter palette definitely looks like something I might like. I like those grungy tones. I like the cooler vibe we're getting here. But I think I would wait for a restock for this on Monolith, because at the minute I'm quite saturated when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, and I don't want to overdo it and have so much again that I cannot review it for you within a year. So if I get this, I'm definitely going to get it a little bit later, and definitely check out Monolith if you are in the EU and you would like to get this, because they are going to have a restock happening very, very soon. Then we have Web Weaver. This is from Notoriously Morbid. And this is one of those brands that every year I say I would like to try and then I never bite the bullet. And I think it's just the fact that because I now have access to Monolith and I can just buy so many US-based indie brands through them, that if a brand is not available through there, they kind of fall off my radar, because Monolith has just made it so much easier for me to shop US based indie brands, and I really adore that. And Notoriously Morbid isn't on there yet. Not sure if they're gonna ever be, but they do some interesting, really nicely grungy color stories. This is a 9-pan, I think, and the swatches look pretty. This definitely looks up my street. Notoriously Morbid has been on my radar for some time. I don't remember, was it the Rusted palette that they did? I think it was like Rusted something. That's something I had been eyeing up, but then it was selling out. And this is one of those smaller indie brands that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. It's not like Ensley Rain that suddenly like my entire YouTube subscriber list was like filled with people reviewing the products that were sent to them in PR. I feel like Notoriously Morbid is one that's still flying a little bit under the radar. So I would like to try them at some point, but as I mentioned, like this is only $45, which makes it sound like a good deal, but I had a look at another palette the other day that I was hoping to get. The Dull 10, I don't remember the full name of it, but it's this really pretty, cooler tone neutral palette that looks like it's really going to be up my street. But then I looked at how much it would cost to get it over, and I would have to pay more in shipping and handling fees than the worth of the palette. So a $45 palette became over 100 euros for me, because it was like 58 euros. It was like 30 euros shipping, and then close to another 30 euros in shipping and handling. And I was like, I'm not going to pay that, because if they were to, because they used UPS, and I do appreciate it when brands calculate the shipping fees and all the custom fees at checkout, because it just speeds up the process so much. But I just know that if they were to send it through USPS and it arrives in my country and I then pay customs through my local customs offers, I would not have to pay 30 euros in custom fees. So I just feel a little bit ripped off. So that's why I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that this brand does that either, but very often with these very small brands, they don't have shipping deals with like something like USPS, or it takes a long time to get here. So I just feel a little bit spoiled now that we have Monolith, and it just makes it so much easier to get brands that are very similar to this. So therefore, I don't feel I need to go through the effort of having things shipped over anymore if I don't want to. So yeah, still interested in Notoriously Morbid, but the shipping and handling fees is really what's holding me back here. Then a brand that has come to Monolith, but they do something really special every single year in July, and it's their Christmas in July sale. This is Sydney Grace, and I'm not sure if it's still going on or not, because I know that it was going on last week. So from July 29th, their Christmas in July sale was going on, and they always have some products that they release especially for Christmas in July, and then they do lots of deals, and you can make your wish list ahead of time and like plan your purchase, like this day I'm gonna get the best deal. And for me, that's always made it very much worth it to buy Sydney Grace, and this Western Summer palette definitely had me do a double take. I think there is another picture coming up in a second with swatches of all of the 4 palettes that they were releasing for Christmas in July. Very often, though, I do feel that they keep these kind of 9-pan palettes around for a little while to come. So if you missed out in Christmas in July, you can definitely pick them up at a later date. And the Sydney Grace palettes are also available on Monolith. Not sure if these are coming to Monolith, but Sydney Grace eyeshadow palettes are also available through Monolith, which makes me really happy. And then is this a re-promote or is this new? Because I'm confused, because I remember, didn't we already have a Solomona 2 palette from Odin's Eye? But this is called the Moon Wish. And this looks pretty. This looks really, really stunning. It seems to have quite a few cool tones in. There's just a couple of warm tones along the top row there. But at the same time, I feel this color story is giving Odin's Eye Christmas Eve palette. Like, I feel we get similar shades. Maybe it's just me. Maybe if I were to purchase this, it's not the case. And this is one where I'm like, I wish I had more success trying Odin's Eye palettes in the past, because I have a couple that I truly love and adore, but then some of the later releases I got weren't very successful for me. I really had issues with the shimmer quality in here, and there's just something that, I don't know, maybe it's a batch issue. I don't know what's going on with the brand, because so many people love the Odin's Eye formula. But for me, it's just been incredibly hit and miss, which makes me very hesitant to just buy something just because I love their color story. Because when it comes to Odin's Eye color stories, I think they do a really good job. Like Odin's Eye color stories, so pretty. This is definitely sucking me in. But like I mentioned, I'm just a little bit saturated when it comes to new eyeshadow palettes that I still need to try. So I don't feel I need to get like this new release, because I just have other things that I'm a bit more excited for trying. If this stays in my brain come like Black Friday sale time, I might. If I forget about this though, I know it was a sign that this wasn't right for me. That's usually how I go about these like new makeup releases videos. Like I can go like initially like, ooh, I love this. This is going to be so perfect for me. But then if I haven't thought about it for like 2 to 3 months, I know I should not purchase it. But sometimes things come back onto my radar, or sometimes I just can't get something out of my head and then I end up purchasing it. So this is definitely one where I want to use that tactic. If by Black Friday I still want to get this palette, it's still there in my brain, I may want to pick it up. If not, I'm not going to. Too Faced is coming out with a new palette as well. This is the Aptly in Love palette. And it's limited edition, I think, for the fall time. When is this coming out? It doesn't say. It's $54. And this is just your classic Too Faced 18 pan palette. We've had a couple of these, of course, in the past. Some of those I loved. Some of those I've decluttered. Some of them I've pulled apart and rearranged into my perfect Too Faced neutral color story. Like it, I definitely think that there are shades in here that are nice. Like the pop of green and red we're getting in here, that definitely makes this palette a bit more special. But it seems to be another like repetition of what they've done in the past, because those like warm tone neutrals in the second or the first half of the palette, those look identical to other things they've done. So save for those 4 reddish and green tones we're getting, it's really not that interesting. So yeah, I like that Too Faced is trying something new. I think for the brand this makes sense, but I'm not gonna add this to my collection. I'm really not. Next up is the new collection from Pat McGrath, and for once, Pat McGrath isn't only giving us peachy tone neutrals, which I'm very happy with. I won't be picking it up, even though these palettes look really stunning. There are more products in the collection, I think. I believe there's also some lip products and like a highlighter and maybe some blushes as well. So it is a full collection. It's the Sublime Blooms, and it's the it's floral inspired. It has a matte shade for definition and then metallic shades and a luminizer for highlighting. So that's the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, I like the look of this. I really do, especially that purpley pink one. I think looks really pretty. What I'm confused by though is that it looks like the purpley pink one has a green in, but then I look at the swatch and it looks there's no green. So I'm like, is this the right swatch, or is that really intense silver supposed to be the green? Because that could be the case. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, if it had that pop of green, I would have liked it a lot better. But the swatches are kind of throwing me off. So again, something, if I were to see it in real life, I might bite the bullet on this one. But I feel good with the Pat McGrath eyeshadow I have in my collection, and I don't necessarily feel I need more. But this is beautiful, and I feel that finally we're getting something differently from Pat McGrath. Another video, this is from Nude Sticks. Rather than sticks, they're now doing a stacks. And this is it blushes? Yes, it's blushes. They've updated their formula, they've updated their packaging, and it's a blush balm. So these look like powders in the pan though, but apparently they're balm. So that would suggest it's a cream. And these colors, I'm really not mad about the color selection here. The color selection seems pretty decent. There are some brighter pops of color. Yes, there are the boring neutrals and peachy tones, but with nude sticks, I've now had the opportunity to see this brand in store a couple of times. I haven't managed to find a shade in the collection that looks like something I would get away with, that I would love and just really adore, because everything in the brand is pretty warm toned. I feel everything has a pretty warm undertone. But yeah, nude sticks does seem to have a really lovely formula from what I could swatch. So again, if I see this in store, I might pick it up. I'm not really in the market for a new blush at all, but if I swatch these and one of the shades really captures my attention, I might. This is the picture I was referring to when I was talking about Sydney Gray. So they have 4 of these palettes: Northern Winter, Southern Spring, Eastern Fall, and Western Summer. And especially like this, it kind of, well, not really, but it's kind of giving color analysis outcomes for me. I mean, the summer palette is, of course, a lot more pastel heavy, and I believe spring is a lot more like vibrant as well. But there's like they have deep versions of these. They also have light versions of these, and these look really pretty. I just wish that the Northern Winter one didn't have those like rosy tones in. Then it would have been a lot more perfect for me. And I already showed you the color story of the Western Summer, of course. So this, yeah, I think for the brand, this makes a lot of sense. This is very collectible. How much are they? It doesn't say how much they are. But yeah, these were part of their Christmas in July sale. I hope they're still available and that they restock them if you were interested in them. Sydney Grace is really, really good at doing neutral palettes, and their neutral single shadows are also very much well worth it. I love my Sydney Gray shadows. More new things from Too Faced then. They also are coming out with a new powder, the Born This Way Soft Blur Flexible Finish Setting Powder. Wow, that's a mouthful. And the Disco Crush Glitter and Face Sparkle. Eye and Face Sparkle. So it's like a eyeshadow, but it could also be used as an highlighter. Yeah, okay, I guess. The powder doesn't come in a lot of shades. I don't think that deep shade is going to work for a lot of people with deep skin. They say it should, because they seem to be indicating here in the image I have that the lightest one is for like those 4 skin tones, and then I don't know. I don't know that that's going to work out for everyone, but yeah, this, I mean, it's Too Faced. I haven't really found anything from Too Faced that I've been super interested in a couple of years now. So yeah, makes sense for the brand. I think people will buy this, but it doesn't make sense for me. Then NARS is renewing their lipsticks. They have a completely new lipstick collection. These are the Explicit Refillable Satin Lipsticks. So it's a satin finish, but they also are refillable. And this has quite an extensive shade range. There are some bright pops of red in here, some deeper tones, but it seems to be quite neutral heavy. Quite neutral heavy. Not necessarily anything here that I look at that makes me go like, I need to run out and get a NARS lipstick. I had a couple of NARS lipsticks in the past, like way, way, way back in the day, and I definitely did enjoy my NARS lipsticks. But I ended up just liking other things, and those became old, and I ended up decluttering them. NARS is one of those brands that I think is a really solid staple in like the department store realm of like luxury beauty. I think they definitely have a lot of like loyal customers of like casual makeup users, not necessarily people like me who are content creators anymore. But yeah, NARS has really solid product. I think NARS has a very solid product line, and they can appeal to a lot of people. It's just, I don't see anything here that would stand out in my collection. REM Beauty is coming out with eyeliners and eyeliner pencil and pens. So they are 2 different products. I thought from the image that perhaps these could be double-ended, but they're not. So they have eyeliner pencils and eyeliner markers. That's what they call them. And the markers come in new shades. And they are like a felt tip eyeliner thing. And then they have the eyeliners. This makes sense for the brand. I don't think REM Beauty had this in yet. With liners, I really think that you can do no wrong if you just stick to the drugstore. You don't necessarily need high-end things. I really love my Victoria Beckham one, so that's sort of what I'm sticking to when it comes to eyeliner pencils, and I don't really use a lot of liquid liners. So that's why I think in the like full spectrum of where the makeup landscape is going, I think this makes a lot of sense, because I'm really seeing a lot of people going away from like makeup looks like this with like really intense smoky eyeshadow and sort of like going for like a sheer wash of color with maybe a bit of liquid liner. I definitely think that that is sort of the vibe we're going for. And there's just a lot of people who don't even wear eyeshadow anymore. So this makes a lot more sense than palettes, I think. Then this is just an image that stands in for what the Unearthly Mystery Box has to offer. This is the Night Terror Mystery Box. It's apparently already sold out or something like that. I don't know. This seems very Halloween coded. So it's only the start of August and we already have a sold out like Halloween collection. The palette in this looked really stunning. I saw some swatches of it online. But with Unearthly, I just feel, I think their mystery boxes also come to... I think the mystery boxes from Unearthly also come to Monolith, if I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken. So, not entirely sure whether that's true, but I have seen some of the previous mystery boxes on there. Not sure if this one is coming as well, but then this could be in that Monolith restock that's happening today. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for the brand. I think Halloween is the season where Unearthly really shines with their releases usually. And I know these mystery boxes are very popular from them. So I don't really do mystery boxes anymore. I just find I get too many products that I don't really end up being interested in. So for me, it's always a bit of a waste of money. So makes sense for the brand. I think a lot of people will be loving this. But for me, it's a no. And then finally, there is a new Adept palette. This is the Legend of Ardra. And this... it's another Adept release, and I had completely missed this. I was still with my head in the final Adept release we've seen is the Amy Loves collab, but apparently they have already released this as well. It has these marble shades in. It looks really pretty. I'm not gonna knock it down for that. It's just this one of these color stories that I look at and then I go like, what do you want me to do with that? So this to me, I don't think is going to be for me personally, but I think there are going to be loads of people who love this because I think Adept is one of the brands that a lot of people truly love and adore. So this is probably going to get a lot of love from other people, but I'm still going to be using my Amy Loves palette first to see how I feel about that before I decide whether I want to get any more Adept for sure. And that's it already. Those are all of the releases I have gathered for you today. It is, of course, the midst of summer. Very often, throughout August, we usually get a lot of the releases. I have already seen some buzz online for the new Catrice stuff. So new Catrice, I think, should be dropping in the next couple of weeks. But I will be traveling first, so I'm going to not be able to buy anything until I'm back for my travels. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy wanting to stay tuned for a lot more content that I have filmed for you for August, because we are going to be doing daily videos throughout the month of August. I'm super excited for this. And then, yeah, I will be back with a new makeup releases video soon. And I think the September version is going to be extra large, stuffed to the brim with a lot of the fall releases that are going to be announced in the next couple of weeks, I think. So thank you so very much for joining me here today. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. I'm currently posting daily, but normally I post 4 times a week. And a new makeup releases video is something I like to do every month anyway. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, and then I hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye!